What if I told you you don't have to be on any social media site that doesn't make sense for your business? The biggest mistake that we see in social is that people use their social platforms as billboards and brochures. And that's the opposite of what you're trying to do. You cannot be a syndication site because you're not a site, you're a human being. And you gotta put that personalized touch on those posts. So take those assets and use them, but put your own personal brand on them. But what I mean by don't be the hero in your own story is talk about your customers. That's the best way for you to show us what you're all about, is to share successes of others. So when I go to your social media, and I went to your social media, I checked it out. What I look for is what you do to talk about others instead of just yourself. The number one word we use for businesses is authentic. Be who you are. Double down on the culture, the values, and the philosophy of who you are as a brand.
So polite, so wonderful, so easy to work with. And during the class, standing room only, it was unbelievable. They didn't want to leave. They wanted to talk to him afterwards. They wanted to stay for his next class. People, I hear them coming out of the classroom, all they wanted to do was see him again. When is he going to be here next year? We loved him.
How do you tell your authentic story on social? And if you can figure that out, you'll move the needle and get more engagement. You don't have to be on TikTok or Snapchat. What I want you to do is prioritize your platforms 1, 2, and 3. You know, I think Snapchat's such a good example. You remember 4 or 5 years ago? Everyone was telling you to be on Snapchat, right? Snapchat was going to explode your business. And then along came TikTok. And now TikTok's the flavor of the month, right? So you gotta think about that before you go headfirst diving into these new social platforms. Are they going to stick around? Are they the places that you need to plant your flag? You need to know who your demographic is and meet them there before you ever plant your flag on social media. Do you know that there is a world 38 and below that doesn't do it that way? They do it like this, or like this. They click their stories, and he's shaking his head because he's one of them. There are people in this room that don't do this anymore, folks. They don't even look at it. If you post something on the native news feed on Facebook and Instagram like a normal post, there are people in this room that would never even look at it. I do a digital audit, and as I look at all of their profiles, anytime I see best practices, I like to show them during my talk. Everyone behind me here working on their digital audit, so they're looking for their website, their Google My Business pages, and their social profiles, and they're looking for holes in their game, and they're finding some. Just saw a couple of websites without the phone number at the top, a couple of review sites with very low positive reviews, so they're going to try to bump those up, and even a couple social sites that they're not managing. So it's a great opportunity for everybody to work. As you can see, they're all working behind me, and we're about to get started again. Some of the best things that will come out of an hour-long presentation oftentimes happen from within the room, not just me. Randy's gonna share one tip that she learned in this social media presentation. Randy, take it away.
Well, we learned today that sharing your great posts across all of your social sites is a really good idea to syndicate your posts.
That's awesome. And typically, I'll give you a couple more, folks. If you're interested in going live, you want to pre-promote it so that you can get some users in there, and you want to stay live for a few minutes because it takes a long time to gather an audience. Some people right now are seeing for the first time, it's saying Randy's gone live for the first time. So if we stayed on a little bit, they'd have a chance to see. So maybe the next time you did it, we'll have like 3 to 5 tips and you can stay on a little bit longer. Somewhere between 5 and 8 minutes is usually a good Facebook Live segment, okay? But for now, we're gonna head out. I want to thank everybody. And since this was Randy's first time going live, this audience, before you go there, is going to give her the biggest round of applause, standing ovation you've ever seen in your entire life on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Look at these guys. Social media is a noisy, oftentimes dark, challenging place. And yet, done correctly, it is the greatest marketing tool that has ever existed.
Yeah, what really adds value to our show attendees is the fact that he can take high-level information on social media and put it into a digestible form that our businesses could take away and implement in their shops when they get back there.
To get above the noise, businesses need to add value, to enrich our lives, to connect with us, not phone it in. Ask themselves every single time, am I adding value to my audience. I tell you that story because we connected on social and he was able to stay on my radar, not frustrate or annoy me, but just stay in touch until I went from research mode to buy mode. And I think that's why social media is so important to you, is that you can stay on our radar until we are ready to work with you. So what we need to do as businesses and brands is to highlight our people, humanize our brand, showcase the people behind our brand, and that tells the digital story that people want to hear.